you think about the American financial system, what comes to mind? Wall Street, glass towers, people in suits talking about financial freedom and the American dream, as if once you make enough money, everything else just falls into place. But while millions of ordinary people are still struggling with rent and medical bills, something strange is happening at the very top of the pyramid. People making $500,000 a year, even a few million, are also living paycheck to paycheck, also worrying about the future, not that different from the rest of us. In this video, we're going to dive into an invisible mega project that's quietly shaping the 21st century. An economic machine that turns both the rich and the poor into mini capitalists, forced to take care of their own old age. And in the end, we'll pose one big question. Is the problem just that people spend money stupidly? Or is it that the system is built so that only those who own capital are truly allowed to feel safe? If you stay until the end, you'll see why even people in the top 1% are becoming victims of this system, and what that says about the chances of survival for everyone else. For a long golden age after World War II, the US represented a simple social contract. You worked, you got a paycheck, your company handled your pension, and the government took care of Social Security. One solid salary could support a family, pay the mortgage, cover college, and still leave enough for a summer vacation. But over the last few decades, that picture has cracked. Real wages have grown much more slowly than housing costs, medical bills, and tuition. Guaranteed lifetime pensions have vanished, replaced by 401ks and IRAs, accounts where all the market risk is pushed down to each individual. Social Security still exists, but at a level many retirees describe as barely surviving. In that world, a harsh logic slowly became the new normal. If you want to be okay in old age, you can't just be a worker. You have to become an owner of capital. And once the entire economy accepts that as normal, finance, real estate, and luxury consumption see a new customer segment. High earners who still feel insecure and are willing to spend a lot of money to buy a sense of safety, or at least something that looks like it. The main character of today's story isn't a bridge, a dam, or a highway. It's an invisible mega project, a web of expensive cities, financial tools, luxury products, and consumption models designed specifically for the top 10%, even the top 1% of earners. From a distance, it just looks like this: multi-million-dollar homes around New York, Seattle, and Miami. VIP service packages, platinum cards, private clubs for those who qualify. Complex financial products from stocks and options to pension funds and investment real estate. But if you zoom in, you see some cold numbers. In a world with tens of millions of millionaires, the richest 1% among them hold close to a third of all wealth. The top 10% account for roughly half of all consumer spending. That's the goldmine the whole economic machine is now rotating around. Before this machine ballooned, someone making $200,000 to $300,000 a year was already considered very rich. Today, many people earning $500,000 still have to borrow to buy a house, pay for school, cover healthcare, pay for everything, just to keep up with a lifestyle defined by people who are 10 to 20 times richer than they are. They think they're the winners of the game. In reality, they're premium fuel for a highly engineered system of consumption and capital accumulation. On paper, a personal financial journey sounds simple. Get a job, earn money, save, invest, retire. But to pull that off in today's system, you have to walk through a construction site full of financial traps. First comes debt. For a young doctor in the US, graduating with six-figure student loans is completely normal. The moment they start working with a high salary, banks show up with offers. A mortgage to buy $1 million home in the right neighborhood. An auto loan for a car that fits their status as a doctor. Credit cards with huge limits for every deserved expense. Then comes geography and urban life. Jobs that pay over $500,000 a year don't pop up in small towns. They're clustered in a few hubs: Manhattan, Silicon Valley, Seattle, Miami, places where a regular family home is already a seven-figure purchase. After income tax, property tax, and mortgage principal and interest, many very high-income households are left with only a few tens of thousands of dollars of actually spendable cash each year. And then comes the luxury buffet curated just for them. Private schools for their kids. Networking vacations at high-end resorts. Business class seats on long-haul flights. Golf club memberships, luxury gyms, fine dining restaurants. No one is holding a gun to their head, forcing them to buy all this. But when everyone around you treats these things as normal, saying no often means quietly stepping outside your own social circle. On paper, they have all the endgame tools: high income, access to credit, and investment products. But just like a new player being dropped into a game with a max level character, if they don't really understand the rules, one bad fall, an injury, a layoff, a crisis can knock down the whole paper castle in no time. Economically, concentrating consumption in the hands of the rich creates a distorted picture. Retail, services, entertainment, healthcare, all kinds of businesses discover that the biggest growth no longer comes from the masses, but from squeezing more out of the top 10%. So more and more resources, people, capital, land, get funneled into serving the desires, needs, and anxieties of this group. Socially, that creates a new form of labor division. Roughly 90% of the population still works and sells their labor, but fewer and fewer of them produce things they themselves will actually use. More and more people work in service chains that directly or indirectly serve the rich, from yacht crews and private jet staff to resort employees to healthcare teams, lawyers, and financial advisors for the wealthy. In class terms, the line is no longer just rich versus poor based on salary. Some people earn a few $100,000 a year, but 100% of their future wealth depends on their paycheck. Stop working, and everything collapses. Others could stop working tomorrow, and their investments, real estate, and company shares would still generate income for them. The real fault line is here. Does your wealth grow only through the effort you put in, or does it grow thanks to the effort of other people? In a system like this, most of us, including high earners, are still just high-end wage workers. One small shock is enough to bring them back down to earth. So when numbers like 40% of people making over $500,000 live paycheck to paycheck hit the internet, the reaction is instant. Comments pile up mocking them. If you're poor on a $500,000 salary, that's a brain problem. Or meme lines like, I spend $13,000 a month on scented candles. Please help me budget. My family is starving. But behind the jokes are serious questions. Economists and journalists point out, if even high-income groups feel more stretched than before, it's not because the system has become kinder. It's because every layer below them has already been squeezed dry. Lower-income households see their budgets eaten away by debt, prices, and fixed costs, to the point that large retail chains openly admit most of their new growth is coming from richer customers than before. In countries with stronger welfare systems, people look at this story as a warning. If you let the free market fully shape retirement, healthcare, and education, then sooner or later, even the wealthy will be forced into a race to become capital owners, just to avoid being swallowed by the very system they benefit from. From far away, what we're talking about today looks like nothing more than numbers. Income, expenses, debt ratios, savings rates. But up close, it's an infrastructure project, no less real than a highway or a dam. Laws that define retirement and labor. Financial products engineered for each income bracket. Cities designed from the ground up to separate rich and poor with every step out the front door. That project is a test of what kind of society we want. Do we want a world where anyone who works hard can retire in safety? Or a world where the ultimate goal is to become rich enough to never have to work again? With every spending decision, every loan, every investment account, each of us is laying one more brick in that structure, whether we realize it or not. From young doctors walking out of med school buried in debt, to athletes earning millions and then going broke, from finance professionals with six-figure salaries still living paycheck to paycheck. Their shared problem isn't just they spend stupidly. Their shared problem is a system quietly whispering the same message to all of us. Being a great employee isn't enough. If you don't become an owner of capital, you will never be truly safe. So what about you? What part of this story shocks you the most? Is it the fact that people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year still feel broke? The speed at which industries serving the ultra-rich are expanding? Or the idea that even if you win the salary game, the rules are still written by people on the other side, the side of capital? If this video gave you something to think about, drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe. That way we can keep exploring more of these invisible mega projects that are quietly deciding the economic future of each of us.